Story sets. Hi, and welcome to a movie discussion.
Yes.
/ review. With me, Ebba and
Linnea. And you can find me on my YouTube channel, Robert Maria Reviews, which we will link in the description below, I guess.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You can't find me, but you can sit here and listen to the discussion and find me there.
Yes. You can find Ebba on this channel that you are currently on.
Exactly. Oh
yes.
God, you're so smooth with the words.
I've done this before.
Yeah, I haven't. Does it show? Anyways, so we've watched 2 movies tonight and
Yes.
we want to discuss them.
Yeah.
So we figured why not record ourselves doing what we'd be doing otherwise, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and maybe being a bit more productive and time managementally by being recorded.
Yes.
So we watched, our first movie we watched was, I'm gonna say it incorrectly because I do that all the time. Blood of the Mummy's Tomb.
Blood from
the Mummy's Tomb.
Yes.
God damn, it doesn't stick in here. It doesn't stick.
And it is part of this collection box set here, which is the Hammer collection. And the Hammer was a British movie studio that did a lot of films in the 60s and 70s, a lot of horror films and such.
Yeah.
And I actually think they have done some modern films as well, like
Oh really?
The Woman in Black, I think, with Daniel Radcliffe. I think that was Hammer.
Oh, so it still exists? Because I thought that after like the 70s it just didn't exist.
No, I think, I don't know for sure because I haven't researched this, but I think like for a while they weren't active, but they started to become active again, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was on hiatus almost like
Basically,
it was,
yeah.
Okay. Almost like the main character of this movie. But anyways, let's just should we mention the other movie or no?
Yeah,
No,
sure.
let's keep it a secret.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
let's keep it a secret. Okay. So, what did you think of Blood from the Mummy's Tomb?
Yes. I really liked it. I mean, it's not a perfect film. It definitely has flaws. But I'm very fond of the Hammer aesthetics and the Hammer style of making films. They're kind of low budget films, but they're very cost effective, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And the Blood from the Mummy's Tomb especially has the Egyptian aesthetics because it deals with a mummy from Egypt, and I'm very attracted to that. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's very much my style.
Yeah, it really started out strong. Like the very first scene, you have an Egyptian tomb, and there's some sort of sacrifice. Almost like you don't know what's going on.
No.
But there's some sort of ceremony going on, and is this woman getting sacrificed, or is she being entombed, or like what's going on here? And then shit breaks loose, or however you want to call it, and the movie starts.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice first scene. It gets you in the like the Egyptian mystery and everything. So I really like that set. It was really nice, and they used it quite a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't cheap with with the way they used it. They used it a lot. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
Story-wise, then, what did you think of the story? Like how did it feel? And
Well, first of all, I thought it was very difficult to figure out which part take place in present time and which was past time. I think they could have made that more clear. I mean, you sort of figured it out, but it wasn't always easy to follow in that regard.
yeah.
But the story itself, I didn't mind, with the mummy that they were gonna bring back to life and all that. I thought that was very fun and interesting. But it did remind me a lot of the film The Mummy with Brendan Fraser from '99, because it's not the same kind of mummy, but it is an Egyptian mummy that is brought back to life and then basically kills all the archaeologists that found him. And it's kind of the same thing here. But I don't know, I mean, this one, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, is based on a book by Bram Stoker called Jewel of the Seven Stars. And the Brendan Fraser movie is, I think, based on an older film, also called The Mummy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, which came first and which plagiarized who? And
because we haven't read the book, so we can't say like, it's very similar to the book, or it's very different. Like, we don't know. Like, we just have to.
I don't really mind seeing that story more than once. I mean, I don't mind the story. I was just like, I've seen this before.
I actually like the fact that the mummy wasn't this wrapped, nasty, like... I thought it was interesting. There was just like this sleeping beauty.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was still creepy, even though she didn't need the wrappings to be like ominous and like what's she gonna be like when she gets up, and if this prophecy completes or whatever.
Yeah, she wasn't a like stereotypical mummy, like the way you think about mummies in general.
Exactly.
That's not what
and like you didn't know if she was someone that was cast out because she wasn't understood by her contemporaries, or if she was actually someone who was evil. And we, like, at the very end of the movie, we were like, wait, so she wasn't evil or she was evil? Like, it was a bit confusing.
Yes.
And why don't we talk about that? Because we couldn't, I couldn't understand, like, if she was... I'm talking about the main character, like Margaret. Margaret is the
daughter of one of the archaeologists who found the mummy, and she was born like at the same time as they found the mummy, and somehow like the mummy's spirit has been reborn in her. And
because it was released when the archaeologist spoke her name. It was released, and the daughter got her soul essentially. So that's Margaret, and the Egyptian mummy is Terra, right? And it was a bit confusing to understand whether or not Margaret was controlled by Terra, or if she was just intrigued by Terra's powers and the fact that it was kind of like she was Terra, but like you couldn't understand if she was going in an evil direction or in a good direction, or if it was just supposed to be like ambiguous, or like it really needed you to concentrate on the movie 100% to pick up on these things because it wasn't like really spelled out to you. At least I didn't.
I agree. It wasn't very clear, and I think
and we don't sit with our eyes completely on the screen. Like we talk.
We make fun of the film as
we're watching, so we miss things.
Yes, but I think
fair to
it was partly intended to be ambiguous.
Yeah.
Depending on how it ended, which spoilers by the way. But it basically ends with the mummy coming back to life, but then Margaret and Queen Terra basically kill each other, or, well, it seems like they kill each other, and then the building collapses. But then at the end we see at the hospital, they have rescued one of them, but we don't know which one. And the movie doesn't tell us that. It's like,
and it's also like, because you don't really know if Terra was evil or not, it's like, well, does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, or like, it wasn't crystal clear, even if, like, if Margaret dies, because Margaret would die if their soul would be returned to Terra. So wouldn't that just mean that she lives in another body? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't really understand if there's actually any harm to her being transferred into the mummy's body. At least in my mind.
The only difference I saw was that Queen Terra's body was immortal, but Margaret's body was not immortal.
So she would lose out on.
The soul was the same.
So it's, and maybe her, I don't know. So it, in the end, it was like, well, is this a bad thing or a good thing? I don't know. It's interesting. But,
and I mean, Margaret during the movie, she kills a bunch of people. The archaeologists who discovered the mummy, she kills them.
True.
So she's not really the good guy.
Like maybe we want Terra to be the one waking up in the hospital because Margaret's a fucking serial killer. I don't know. Margaret's the evil one then. Because she used the mummy's powers for evil things, and not for good things that were mentioned in the beginning, actually. So interesting. Are we any wiser on this? I don't know. It's confusing. So what was your reaction on the whole Little Dipper? Was it Little Dipper?
Big Dipper. Okay, so like I said, the movie is based on the book Jewel of the Seven Stars. I think that was what it was called. And they were referring to the Big Dipper, which is, it's not a constellation, but it's an asteroid, and you can see in the night sky. And the thing in the movie is that Queen Terra wants to be reawakened now because the stars are in the same position as they were in her time. And as a hobby astronomer, I can just say that is not how astronomy works. If we're just looking at the individual stars, they are all going to move in their own way, and they're not going to come back to where they were before. And the constellations themselves, they will change over time. In Sweden we can see the Big Dipper all year round, but for example, Orion, we can only see that in the winter right now. But if we wait a number of thousand years, we will see it in the summer instead. But it's a very, very long time. And eventually the Orion will be back in the winter, basically. But it takes a long time for that to happen, and not the span of time that is in the movie. So I was like, oh, that's not how it works.
So, yeah, but that's kind of funny then, because if that was her plan, like she had the symbol carved on a ring that was hers.
Yeah.
So if we're going by that logic, then they waking her up, it would have been too soon, right? They would have spoken her name too soon. So we're just like flatlined. She would have, I don't know, wait a few thousand more years, or it would have just been nothing. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I wonder how they made it in the book, like how...
Yeah. I don't know when the book was written, but I'm thinking early 1900s probably.
Yeah.
But I should know that by then. But I guess Bram Stoker might not have known it.
Exactly. They were like, it's fine. It's fine, who cares?
It's fantasy, so...
Exactly, it doesn't matter. But of course, if you know a subject, you'd care about details like that. It's always nice if they get it right. What did you think about the actors?
I like most of them. There were several that I recognized, and I think I have probably seen them in other Hammer films, but there was one actor that I think might have been in an episode of Babylon 5. Because I think I've seen that one recently, and I was like, I know this guy. But overall I liked him, except the actress playing Margaret and Queen Thera.
Who was very beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful. And very suitable for the role for that reason, but not the greatest actress, really.
And maybe that was a contributor to the fact that you couldn't always tell what she was going for. It was a bit...
Like a good actress would have had more nuance in her acting. And sort of, you would be able to read her feelings more, I guess, or her thoughts.
It was a bit like this. But I mean, the camera loved her. Like, she was very pretty. And she wore some very, very pretty clothes. Very, very pretty. Pretty. That's coming up next. But yeah, there was one guy who looked like Benedict Cumberbatch almost. His voice didn't really suit his face, which is, I can't explain it. It was just something I felt. The way he was dressed, he had like a black cloak and a black bag and a black cane, and you were thinking like very somber, like. But it wasn't. He was more
almost,
like Robert Broad.
and I actually almost thought he almost went into like a gay stereotype, you know, like.
Oh, you went that way, okay. Yeah. I just thought he felt very aristocratic and.
No, I don't.
I thought he was going to be more like an not assassin, but like. Like.
I don't think they intended him to come across as gay. That's not what I'm saying. It was just sort of certain things he did where I was like,
that's
slightly,
an actor's choice
like slightly effeminate, I guess. But that's not a bad thing. I'm just pointing out that
absolutely.
I kind of read it that way. Which was interesting.
At least you could read something from him.
Yeah, exactly. That is totally a good thing.
So moving on to our second movie. Quite different from our first one, especially if we're thinking about. We should talk about this also, the female lead and how she was kind of in control of her actions in Tomb from the Mummy's
Blood from the Mummy Stone.
Oh my god. Okay. The title. I'm just gonna say the title from now on. But she was actually like driving the story forward and having her own, even though you didn't really understand why, but she was having her own agenda, and she was forward in conversations, and it was nice to see. Like, it was a good character that way, I think. Like, she wasn't just like shoved around and being told what to do, like a little bit, but she wasn't like
yeah, I
being
think
led by the hand by a man, like running.
I mean, she's not the most active female characters I've ever seen.
No, it's just like
but
in the movie she wasn't like
she
person.
does make decisions to act a certain way, and that leads the story forward. Unlike the character in our second film, which is more like
holy
things happen to her and she just goes along with it.
Yeah. Really weird things happen to her and she just goes along with it. Maybe that's her way of being active, but it doesn't show. So what is the second movie?
The second movie is Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy. This is a cult classic, for good reason, I think, because it's a very pretty film. But it also has its set of flaws, I think. But what did you think of it?
Well, it was my first time seeing it. I know you've seen it before, just as you had with the tube of the title movie. Anyway, so it was the first time, but I've seen like a few scenes and things here and there, so I knew it was going to be very 60s, but I didn't quite know just how late 60s it was going to be. But it was I understand why it's a cult classic. I understand why it's memorable and why it's something that why it's mentioned like with movie history and things like that, because it's very special. I won't forget it.
No.
I might forget all the crazy names because they just but but the movie will
except
stay.
Duran, you remember that one?
For obvious reasons. And Barbarella, but other than that it's in my notes here though, so I can always look down and pick up. But
I really like how crazy and creative it is, and very innovative too, I think. Like Ebba says, it's a movie you remember. And I don't really feel that they make movies like this anymore, you know?
No, but it's almost style over substance, but in a good way.
I mean, it's sort of, you can see a little of it in like Guardians of the Galaxy and also in Star Wars, but it's not nearly as crazy as Barbarella is, you know? It doesn't go all the way as Barbarella does. Because I think Barbarella is very brave in that regard. Like, not the character, but the movie.
It's it doesn't hold back. It's if it wants blue rabbits in the background, god damn it, they're gonna make the intern paint rabbits blue and put them in the background.
Like, what do we need to make this scene better? Oh, I know, blue rabbits.
But so the story is very, I don't even know what the story is. I feel like it's about sex. I mean, it's
lots
sex
of sex
and ideologies, I guess. But I do not have the brain power to think about the ideologies.
I mean, basically the movie comes from the 60s hippie peace culture. And it takes place, well, it doesn't take place, but it is about a future where Earth is like very, very peaceful. It doesn't have war, it doesn't have conflict. But there is this one guy, Duran, that is threatening this, and I don't know if he wants to create war or whatever, but he's threatening the peace, and Barbarella is sent out to basically talk to him, but that's
oh my god,
not really what happens.
She was
a
5-star double-rated Astronavigatrix. Holy shit, that's a mouthful too.
Astronavigatrix. I dig it. Yeah.
Navigatrix, I mean. It was pretty hilarious. And they were that was actually an issue though for me. Like in the beginning, she has a conversation with the president and already your mind is going like because there's so much going on in the background, and you're like trying to just like vet du det?
Take in all the information.
Yeah, just take in the fact that there's fur on the walls, that the
and Jane
TV
Fonda
screen
is
or whatever,
naked.
is a piece of a moon this way, and there's a naked statue, and like you're trying to understand the background and everything. It's like, whoa, colors.
And Jane Fonda is naked.
And Jane Fonda is naked. Very nice, by the way. And then you have this conversation between the president and Barbarella, where essentially the setup for the entire movie is being spelled out to you. But they're using these made up, phony words and things that aren't real.
And he's like sending things to her through some sort of
and it's pretty fast.
teleporter.
And like I said, your mind is just trying to work out everything that's going on the frame, on the picture in front of you. So I was a bit lost. I was a bit lost.
Yeah.
And this was the second movie of the night, so my energy levels weren't at 100%. It was like 90. So the whole Duran thing, I knew that he was having a weapon made, and she needed to fix him, not making any more weapons. But it wasn't really clear what she was supposed to do. Like, how was she supposed to?
I think she was supposed to seduce him.
It was that it though? Yeah, because like what she didn't do anything. Her weapons, she used them in like one scene with the angel guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And she didn't use any verbal skills.
No.
She didn't talk anyone into doing anything. She didn't barter. She didn't trick. She didn't do anything that would have made her an asset. She just ended up in places, and she fell a lot, and then she had sex with people, but you didn't get the feeling that you wanted to have sex with them. It was just like, well, whatever then, I guess. And it happened to her.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that she gets to like the palace where she knows Duran Duran is, and by accident she like runs into a lot of people, and one of them is like, oh, you need this key, and she gets the key, but she gets it because he says that she needs it. She doesn't know she needs it.
Exactly.
And then other accidents happen, and she ends up with another person who basically is the one that defeats Duran Duran. So it's like she doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, is that the point though? Like, is she supposed to be this navigatrix person who just navigates through, like with luck almost? Like she just knows where to fall?
Yeah. I mean, the way I read it was that Earth doesn't have like agents of that kind, the way we think of like a hero agent that you would send out in a sci-fi film. So she's basically, this is not what she does. Yeah. But she's sent out to do it. So she's like, oh well, I'll just see what happens. Basically.
And I'd buy that. But the other people do stuff. They have a sense of where they want to go. She's the only one who seems to be like, so I don't know. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
That's a word that would.
But I think you shouldn't analyze the plot too much. That's not the point of the film. The point of the film is more to be an experience. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, like the sets are amazing.
Yes.
And I feel like they were kind of like high quality. Like you could see a lot of details, and it felt like they had a big budget for this movie.
Yeah, I don't know what they had.
Yeah, no, budget, me neither. But it just felt like rich in textures and colors, and they had the whole. In one scene, they have the queen, the evil queen, and Barbarella stuck in a dream chamber. Yeah, and they have big glass circles going this way. I mean, they can't have been cheap. And they had the camera going through. It was cool. Yeah, I like that. They made a lot with what they had as well.
And to go back to like the sex, we mentioned that there's a lot of sex in this film, and Barbarella does only have sex with men, but the evil queen actually does flirt with her, and I thought that was actually very nice because this is a movie from 1968, and that level of queerness was sort of that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I would have maybe like to see female sex scene too.
Yeah,
That would have
because
been
why not?
nicer, but
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
nice too.
I think it actually would have been it would have made sense if they would have had sex.
Yeah.
Because I feel, even though it's like, oh well, it was past times and everything, it wasn't a subject that was unheard of, so
No,
they could have,
no.
they might as well just thrown that in as well, I think.
Yeah.
But
Because I thought that Barbarella and the Black Queen, or whatever she was called, I thought they had chemistry.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Way more than some of the other dudes. Well, all the other dudes actually. I don't know what happened there. Yeah. We should talk about that machine rape thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember
mechanical
what it was
piano
called.
Rape.
Yeah.
Me neither. Doesn't matter.
I
It was
always
strange.
called it the Orgasmatron, but I don't think there was.
Well,
what it was
that's
called.
an excellent name for it.
I don't know. For some reason, I always thought that was what it was called, but I don't think they said it in the film, so I don't know.
I think he said something. He
Yeah.
called it something, but I don't remember.
No.
But it was basically a mechanical rape machine, rape piano, I should say.
Yeah.
Because it played it like a piano, and
Yeah, the point, it was Duran Duran that did this, and basically the point was that he would give her so much
pleasure
that
Yeah.
she would die from it, but she breaks the machine instead.
Yeah, which is really funny because by now she's a very sexual person, so
Yeah.
I mean it made sense. But at the same time, you shouldn't diminish the fact that she was actually raped
Yeah.
by a machine. Like she
Yeah.
wasn't there by choice, and it didn't happen to her by choice. She liked it in the end, but that doesn't matter. Like she didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And there were bodies, like dead bodies, strewn by the side of the machine. So I mean, it's really wrong.
Yeah. If it was made today, they wouldn't have made it. So I think not that way.
Sorry, one more time.
If it was made today, the movie.
Yeah. It would have been. Yeah. There would have been outrage, and rightly so. Like, I mean, it's if you put it in a complex discussion, like in the movie, like you make a point out of it, then it's all right. But here they just like, haha, she breaks the machine, and it's funny, you laugh, but it's at the same time it's kind of like, but anywho, so her outfits, very important topic to talk about. So a few of these outfits are really iconic. And do you have a favorite?
Oh.
Yes, I know. This is the hard question. Rape machine? You thought that was difficult to talk about?
I mean, I think most of them look pretty nice, but like the one that I like remember, and I don't remember it because it looks good, because I don't think it looks good, but it's the one that she has close to the beginning, you know, that the fur one. Because the one with
the fur one?
Yeah, the one with the tail, because they made like a continuous joke about her tripping over the tail and getting the tail stuck in things. So I like that one because I thought it was funny. I don't think it looks good. It was quite ugly, to be honest, but it was funny. Yeah.
The one that I remember mostly, like when I'm thinking about it now, it's the emerald, the green one. Yeah, I thought that was nice. Yeah. Very impractical, and also dead bodies. Clothes, so that's nice.
Yeah, she picks that one up after the Orgasmatron,
and she's
not
like,
her clothes.
My boots, and it's like, no, that's a dead girl's boots. That's just wrong. But yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. And in another part of the film, because they have this thing where on Earth, as a time period of the film, they have sex by taking pills and then sort of touching the hands to each other, and then sort of so there's one guy in the movie that's basically says that no, I don't want to do that, I want to have like sex the old-fashioned way, but then there's another guy in the film who does want to do the hand thing, and that actually reminded me of another film. It was called Demolition Man. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
No, it's with Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, and that's kind of a similar thing in the future on Earth. They don't do like the physical sex thing. They have like, I think they touch hands in Demolition Man 2, but I might misremember that, but it's something similar, and I was like, huh, that's a weird movie to be reminded of.
What do you think was the point of that, though? Like, did they want to make a point, or were they just like, well, in the future we'll have these weird ways to have sex?
I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is that whoever made this movie had been smoking some things, but part of it might also be that they wanted to have a lot of sex in the film, but they wanted to vary it, I guess, because it is like she meets a guy. And he kind of saves her, and she says, "Oh, thank you. What can I do in return?" And he says, "I want to have sex with you." And then another guy saves her, and he also wants to have sex, but it's not the same kind of sex, so it's different because of that. Yeah,
and I'm also thinking like when she has the old-fashioned sex with the first guy,
the hairy guy.
The hairy guy, exactly. The fur guy. She enjoys it a lot. Like in the end, like she's like singing and like. But with the revolutionary, the worthless revolutionary, I should add.
Dildano, I think his name
Dildano,
was.
yeah. She doesn't seem to be into it, actually. Like she seems like a bit bored.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like maybe there's a message there, like you shouldn't, even though we have all of these technologies and all these pills and wonderful things, sometimes you should just keep it simple.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but that's definitely a way you can read it.
Because also I'm thinking she broke the machine.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's some sort of message there as well. Like you went and complicated it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
She had sex with some. Oh yeah, the angel guy.
Yeah.
She had sex with an angel guy who was. I don't know how to put that nicely. He was. He wasn't all there.
No, not all there.
Yeah. But he was in the movie a lot, though.
Yeah.
Like and I didn't think he was going to. Like, but the first time when you saw him and they had sex in his nasty bird nest, it was so nasty. And I was like, well, that's the end of him then. Well, he'll fly her off to the mountain and then it's bye-bye. But she actually seemed to care about him. But I didn't feel like that was established. So it was a bit. It was almost like she was looking out for her kid or something.
Yeah,
like a really stupid kid who gets lost at the mall all the time. All the time. The kid just won't stay by the side. He wants to go to the toy store or the bathroom or whatever. Oh, a balloon. And then it's off there. So it was kind of like that. Pygar, right?
Yeah, Pygar.
Yeah, Pygar wasn't... he was a bit annoying, to be honest. I found him a bit annoying.
I think it kind of interesting. I mean, I didn't like him that much either, but the Black Queen sort of has the hots for him also, and she kind of kidnaps him. So in a sense, he's a damsel in distress.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is that's sort of an interesting twist on that
that's
trope.
true. Yeah, because like she rescues him.
Yeah.
At least I think 2 times. Right?
Yeah.
She lowers him down from the crucifixion thing.
Yes.
And she also saves him from a mob.
Yeah.
And when, which is also really funny because he's standing there, like she hears a lot of screaming and things, and she's like, "Oh, where? Dramatics are always initiated by screaming or something strange like that." And Pygar is standing like in a square, and he's like, "Oh." And people are pointing sticks and things at him and laughing and screaming and they're backing away and he's just standing there. And he's like, oh. So
he is blind though. So
he's blind, but he's also a bit slow. Like he has wings.
Yeah.
Why not test and see how tall the ceiling is? Like it won't hurt. You're being poked right now. Just go. Yeah. But she saves him there. So at least in those 2 occasions, she's actually the one doing the saving.
Yes,
it's worth mentioning.
Yes, definitely.
Not to be too mean to poor helpless tripping Barbarella. Yeah.
But otherwise, comparing these 2 films, I mean, we mentioned a little bit about the main characters Margaret and Barbarella. But I also want to compare the music, because the music in Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, I almost forgot the name now too. I actually don't like the music very much. I think it's...
I don't even remember it.
No, and I thought actually it was quite repetitive. I think they used like the same musical piece several times, which you can do, but I don't know. I thought maybe it was a bit too much. But that one wasn't very good. But the music in Barbarella I actually kind of like. It's very it's pop music basically. Yeah, very catchy pop music too.
And it's also in line with the whole, like, this is a time document basically. Like, this is the late 60s. You have it all here, including the music. Yeah. It's really strange. And there's also like these references to like art. Like she has a painting. Like it's, I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like stippled painting, like from the 1880s or whatever. And also the music was very classical at points. Like a few key points, there was a really classical tune to the music. So it was kind of interesting. During
the machine raid, there was a big classical.
Yeah,
music.
Maybe I was occupied just like, what's going on? But yeah, so it was kind of interesting that way. It was very... Like you noticed the music when it played. Like, so,
definitely,
what's going on? Yeah. Which is nice, because I don't even know what music was played during movie title. It was just bland, I guess.
Yes,
like
very
it was
bland,
just bland. I can't even.
I mean, it was functional, but
I can't even say what sort of instrument there were. Like, were there instruments? Was it a guy just hitting a wall and calling it music? I don't know. You tell me. I have no idea. I don't remember.
I think it was a lot of like, you know, like violins, like you have in horror movie, like the dramatic violins.
Yeah. Okay,
like
so
that.
very generic.
Yes, very generic.
Any other comparisons that can be made between the two, you think?
I don't know. I mean, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb is British, and Barbarella is combination of many things.
Italian, I think.
It says, oh no, I don't know. What's the language? I don't know, but...
Foreign.
Yes, foreign. I mean, Jane Fonda is American, right?
Yeah.
Some of the other actors...
Pygar was American as well.
Yes. But I think there's also like French and Italian.
Yeah, one English.
Yeah. So it's a mix. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about that.
I think like this is very late 60s, and it's very late 60s, and it's very like sci-fi with the whole sets, and they really want to show everything off. Whereas movie title is from 1971, and it feels fresher, I think.
Yeah,
in a way.
to a certain extent. Yeah.
Just a little bit, like not too much, but it's but that also feels very 70s. So they're kind of nice to compare that way. One of them does feel a bit closer to our era, I think. Like you could.
I think there's lesser things in Blood from the Mummy's Tomb that are sort of aged. Like a lot of it is ageless, basically. Timeless, I guess. Yeah. While in Barbarella, there's a lot of like things like, oh, that's definitely from the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much with everything, I think. In Barbarella one,
and Barbarella has a very psychedelic style that is not really seen today. Yeah. While some of the things from Blood from the Mummy's Tomb that you can, the style itself you can kind of see today.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's also why I'll remember Barbarella best.
Yeah, probably.
I think so, at least.
Yeah,
I will remember the outfits from movie title. Definitely.
You really want that red dress that Margaret had.
Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. It was like mocha and it was so good. Suede, I think it's in English, but it was really very nice. Oh, that coat. Oh my god. Yeah. The two very interesting movies to watch in one night, I think.
Yes.
And two very typical documents of their time.
Yeah.
Very interesting. anything?
I would kind of curious because we've had other movie nights together before where we've seen Highlander, Flash Gordon, Legend, Clash of the Titans, a lot of those films. Yeah. How would you compare these two? Like,
to the ones we've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you liked Flash Gordon a lot.
Yes, I loved Flash Gordon. Well, can we talk about Flash Gordon for a hot minute here? Flash Gordon has a lot of things going for it. It has awesome music, awesome costumes,
a lot of glitter,
so much glitter, and just funny scenes in general, and actors like Brian Blessed that I just love. I love Brian Blessed. So and Barbarella reminded me of Flash Gordon a lot. Like there was aesthetics that were I don't remember which year Flash Gordon is from.
It wasn't from the 60s. I think it's more like late 70s, early 80s maybe.
Yeah,
like 1980 maybe.
Yeah, late 70s, like 78 maybe. Yeah. So how do these compare? I wouldn't say they're the best, just because we've seen like the Labyrinth. Like Labyrinth is a very good movie, and Flash Gordon is a very good movie for specific reasons. But I think they're very memorable. Like I know we've seen. There's one movie I think we've seen that I don't remember now. For example, like so. Yeah. So yeah. What would you say?
I don't know. I really like Highlander, which
Highlander. God, yeah, it was so good.
That's a very guilty pleasure of mine.
Don't be guilty. It's an excellent pleasure.
It's a very non-guilty pleasure of mine.
It's a proud pleasure of mine.
And Highlander is a film that I can rewatch a lot of times because it, that one has flaws too, but I don't care because it's so fun. And I kind of feel the same way about Barbarella, that I can rewatch this a lot of times.
Yeah, I could rewatch Barbarella as well. I'd have to wait a few years for it to movie title.
Blood from the Mummy's Skin.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. I'd have to wait. Just not because it's a bad movie. Just like it would be too dull. Actually, I think dull. Yeah. There wouldn't be new things for me to get out of watching that again, like 2 years or a year from now on. So yeah, Barbarella I'd watch again.
And then we've also watched Creature from the Black Lagoon together.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That one is also a film that I really like.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can rewatch it quite as often. As
no, that'd be
Barbarella
a few years.
Yeah.
Just like with the movie title for me. Yeah, definitely. But I think I could watch Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Like in a year or so.
Yeah,
like
and also Legend we watched together.
Yeah.
And Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. Clash of the Titans is the one I forget.
Yeah.
So obviously that wasn't my favorite. Because all the other ones I remember. I was like, oh, which one? Clash of the Titans. But I mean, that had some qualities to it, but it felt so dated.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the age, I don't remember exactly, but when you look at the age and you look at how it feels, it feels like it was. Yeah. It just feels like it was made.
Yeah.
20 years earlier than the age it's set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
It felt very much like a 60s film, but I think it was released like 1980 or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Do we want to talk about what we want? What? Do we want to talk about what we want to watch next, or do we?
Oh.
Do you have any?
I haven't thought about that yet.
Oh, sorry, I put you on the spot there. I didn't mean to, but have you any?
I don't know. What do we feel like watching? That's a very good question. Like we have seen a lot of fantasy films. Maybe we should delve more into sci-fi.
Or horror. Do you even like horror?
I like some horror.
Some horror. Okay. Yeah. I love horror.
I like Hammer horror. I don't like a lot of modern horror.
Yeah.
Like what is it called? Not something with porn. Torture porn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't like torture porn.
No.
Either. No, I don't.
That's not my style. But I love a lot of older horror
Yeah.
films. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of that I
Yeah,
have in my collection.
no,
I
I'm
have some Dario Argento, like Suspiria.
I want to see Suspiria.
Yeah, I think you
Yes.
might like that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so too. I think so too. Yes, Suspiria, and we should have a witch theme.
Oh,
Suspiria and
the Wicker Man. Well, that's not witches though,
Yeah,
but that's witchcraft.
I don't know if I know I should see the Wicker Man. I just don't. I never feel like it.
Yeah,
I never feel like watching.
I think we
Wicker
should
Man.
see the Wicker Man, the
Okay,
original.
so Wicker
yeah.
Man and Suspiria.
I love the soundtrack to Wicker Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. You
It's
can,
really
you can sell it to me by
Yeah.
talking about the music. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's
Yeah.
yeah. But we might change our minds. But
Yeah.
it's a plan at least.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna have a hell of a lot to edit if we
Yes.
keep talking. So why don't we wrap this up?
How was
so-
it to make your first YouTube video?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. There are YouTube videos out there
Oh.
with me on them. Shouldn't say that. But having like a serious discussion like this, it's the first for me. So it works as long as I don't see myself on the screen there. I'm good. It feels okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah. The language, I need some
Practice?
Yeah, I need some practice.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
need to work with it for a while.
Yeah,
and then
I thought it worked well. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
considering.
Once we've done a couple of these videos, I think you will be all into it.
Exactly.
And I mean, the good thing with editing is that I can take all the awkward stuff. So
Exactly. We look like fucking professionals.
okay,
Yeah.
let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Have you seen these films? Comment down below if you have. Did you like them? Did you not like them? Did you agree with us or not? Let us know. And give us movie recommendations maybe of what we would like.
Yes. Absolutely.
Ebba likes glitter, so
Yes. Outfits.
it's all in the outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also maybe if there's some witch movies, I would be
Yeah.
into some witch movies. Good witch movies.
I mean, we have like Season of the Witch. I haven't seen that one.
Me neither.
It's bad, I hear.
Yeah, very, very bad I hear. So that would be
That's
fun.
totally our thing, isn't it?
Oh, I'd love to watch a really bad movie and just talk trash about it. Let's do that as well.
Yes.
So
You know, the worst film I have ever seen is called The Lost Jungle from 1934. It's garbage.
Oh. Well, I saw a Matt Damon movie this Christmas that was so bad I almost wanted to leave the audience, the theater. It was so bad.
Oh.
So it happens.
It happens.
Bad movies happen.
Okay, okay.
God damn it, we talk a lot.
That's why we make this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, comment down below. Like the video if you like to hear our talk here. Subscribe to our channel. We love to have subscribers and we want to make more videos. And thank you very much for watching and bye bye.